Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The next theorem that we are about to do is theorem 12.1.3. But before that, there are a few things which you need to learn and to keep in mind before you do the proof of theorem 12.1.3, because these are the two theorems that we are going to use in this theorem. This is theorem 12.1.1, which we already proved in the previous lecture, and then we are going to use the theorem 12.1.2. This is not in your syllabus, but the statement of this theorem will be needed in the proof of 12.1.3. That's why we have to learn the statement and understand the statement of both these theorems, because they are going to be used in the proof of theorem 12.1.3. Okay, so you have to recall it and keep these two in mind if you want to understand theorem 12.1.3. Theorem 12.1.1 was, as we already did, was that any point on the right bisector of a line segment is equidistant from its endpoint. We have already proved this in the previous lecture, and what you have to keep in mind is that if you have a point on the right bisector, okay, if O is a point on the right bisector of AB, then it will always be equidistant from the endpoint, that is OA will always be equal to OB. So any point, taking any point on the right bisector, this is always equidistant. If you take another point O dash, if it is on the right bisector, then it must be equidistant from the endpoint. Okay, so if somebody tells you that this point is on the right bisector, then you can easily write this statement that as it is on the right bisector, therefore it will be equidistant from the endpoints. Okay, so if you have this knowledge that a point is on the right bisector, then you can easily write from that as it is in the on the right bisector, therefore its distance from the endpoints will be same. OA will be congruent to OB if O lies on the right bisector. Okay, theorem 12.1.2 is just the converse of it. Converse means just the reverse statement of this. What does it tell? Any point equidistant from the endpoint. So here we know that the point is equidistant from the endpoint. Any point equidistant from the endpoints of a line segment always lies on the right bisector. That is, here if OA is equal to OB, then you can say that A must be on the right bisector of AB. Okay, it is the reverse. In the first theorem we said that if a point is on the right bisector, then it is equidistant from the endpoint. In here, in this theorem we were given that O is on the right bisector, and we derived this. In theorem 12.2 it is the reverse statement. Okay, if it is equidistant from the endpoint, then we can say that O must be on the right bisector. So it means that all points which are equidistant from the endpoints of AB must lie on the right bisector. Okay, if you know that a point is equidistant from the endpoint, then that point will always lie on the right bisector. Okay, do remember that. If you know this, that OA is congruent to OB, then you can easily write that O must be on the right bisector. Okay, so both this statement is true in both the ways. If O is on the right bisector, then it will be equidistant. If a point is equidistant, then it will be on the right bisector. Okay, both the statements are true in either way, whether you go from this point to this point, or you go from this point to this point, both the statements are reverse and true. Okay, now if O lie on the on the right bisector, we can also say that this statement can also be written as, we can also say that the line bisector passes through O. So if a point lies on a line, we say that the line is passing through it. Okay, that it means both these statements are the same, whether you write that O is on the right bisector, or you say that the line bisector passes through O, they are the same points. Okay, because if you have a line, okay, then we have a point O. If point O is on this line, we can say that point O is on AB, and we can also say that AB is passing through this point O. Okay, they are the same things. So you must understand these two statements very well before going into the proof of theorem 12.1.3. So let's start the theorem. So whenever you have a point on the right bisector, it will be equidistant. If a point is equidistant, it will be on the right bisector. Okay, both the statements are important to understand before going into the proof of theorem 12.1.3. And let me write the statement of the theorem and then let's start the theorem. Now the statement of the theorem is the right bisectors. We already know what are the right bisector. We did it in the previous lecture. The right bisector of the sides of a triangle. Okay, so you have a triangle and you are talking about the right bisectors of its sides, means the lines which are bisecting the sides of the triangle at right angle. Okay, so the right bisectors of the sides of a triangle are always concurrent. What do you mean by concurrency? Concurrency, as we have already discussed, and let me repeat it again. Concurrent means that the three of the right bisectors, there are three sides of the triangle. Okay, let me draw a rough triangle for you. Okay, there are three sides of this triangle A, B, C. Okay, right bisectors mean the lines which divide the three sides of the triangle into two equal half. Okay, this is the first right bisector. This is a line which is dividing the side AB into two equal half. Okay, so this will be the first right bisector. Okay, or the right bisector of the side AB. Similarly, the right bisector of the side BC will be a line which is dividing the side BC into two equal halves. Okay, so this is the right bisector of the line BC, and similarly there will also be a right bisector of this line AC. Now in this theorem we are going to prove that obviously when we draw these two bisectors, they will definitely cross one another in a point because they are the right bisector of the triangle. As there is an angle between the two triangles, the lines are never parallel, therefore these two lines can't be parallel. They will definitely intersect at a point. Okay, at some point O. Let me name this point O. Now if they intersect this point O, then the third bisector will be concurrent to these. Concurrent means that it will pass through the point O. If it passed through the point O, then we say that all the three bisectors are concurrent. It means they have the common point of intersection. Okay, intersection means where the lines cut each other. So if the three lines, for example, this is the right bisector. Okay, it always passes through the same point as the other two. If the other two cut each other at point O, the third will also cut both these right bisectors at the same point, not at different point. It means it won't pass through somewhere here, okay, or here. It won't cut the line, this line won't cut it, cut this bisector here or somewhere else. It will cut at the same point. Okay, the point of intersection of all three will be the same. O will be the point of intersection of these two bisectors. Also O will be the point of intersection of these two, and the same point will be the point of intersection of this 0. Okay, so it means that they won't be like this. Suppose these are the 2 points. Okay, so the third bisector won't cut them at different points. It will pass through the same point as these two. Okay, not like this. The third bisector won't be intersecting the first two bisectors at different point. It will intersect them at the same point as they did for each other. So this is called, when this happens, we say that the three lines are concurrent. Okay, so this is concurrent and O is the point of concurrency. Okay, so now it's clear what do you mean by concurrent. Three lines are concurrent when they intersect each other at the same point. For example, if I draw these two lines, suppose these are the two lines, okay, and there's a third line which is intersecting. Now this line intersect this line. Suppose let it be line A, line B, and line C. Now the point of intersection of A and B is this point. Let it be O. Okay, and the point of intersection of A and C is O dash. Let me name it O dash. And the point of intersection of B and A is O double dash. Now you can see that all the 3 points are different. Okay, then we say that these lines are not concurrent. Okay, they will be concurrent if this line also passes through the point of O and O double dash are the same points. Okay, that is if this line passes through the same point O as the line AB pass, then we say that these lines are concurrent. Otherwise these lines won't be concurrent. Okay, this is all wrong. This is called concurrency when they cut when these lines, suppose this be line A, line B, they intersect each other at the point O, and the third line C, it also passes through the same point, okay, not at any other point, then we say that the lines are concurrent. So these are concurrent lines, and the ones I drew here, those were not concurrent, okay. And now what we need to prove, that if we draw the right bisector of the sides of the triangle, okay, this is the first right bisector, this is the second right bisector, and this is the third, we have to prove that these right bisectors, okay, these right bisectors are three lines, okay, so we need to prove that these three lines are also concurrent, okay. Are concurrent means they intersect each other at the same point, and for that we are going to use the statement of the previous two theorems of this chapter. Okay, so let's start the theorem. First of all, let me draw the triangle. This triangle A, B, C. Okay, we are given a triangle ABC. Let me write. Given, they have given us a triangle A, B, C. Okay, we need to prove that the right bisectors the right bisectors of the sides AB, BC and AC are concurrent. Okay, now construction. In construction we are going to draw two right bisector, and let me draw the two bisector B. Let me draw the bisector of AB. Okay, let this be the bisector of AB. We are going to construct this. Okay, this, let it be the first bisector, and I am going to draw the bisector of BC also. Okay, let this be the bisector of the second side. Okay, now, and they will definitely meet at a point. Let that point be denoted by O. Okay, so we have, in construction we have to draw two right bisectors. Bisectors of the sides AB and BC, which will meet at point O. That is, O will be the point of intersection of these two bisectors. Now what we need to prove that the third bisector is also concurrent to these two lines, we have to prove that O is the point of intersection of the third bisector with these two bisectors. Okay, or in other words, we just need to prove that the third bisector, if we draw, it will also pass through O. Okay, now what else you have to do is you will have to, these are the right bisectors. Okay, this one, these two are the right bisector, and join O with B, and also join O with C. Okay, join O with B, with C, and with A also. Let me erase this. Okay, join with A. These are the joining points, and let me erase the half of this bisector so you don't get confused with these. Okay, so these are the right bisector. This one, the dotted ones are the right bisectors. Okay, and the full lines, they are the joining lines of O with A, B and C. Okay, so this is the scenario. Now let's start the proof. Now O is a point on the right bisector of BC. Okay, O is a point on this right bisector. Also O is a point on the right bisector of AB. So its distance from AB, as O lies on the right bisector of AB, so its distance from A and B will be the same according to the first theorem, the theorem 12.1.1. what we learned there, that if you have a point on the right bisector of a line segment, AB is the line segment, these are the endpoints, then this O will be equidistant from A and B, because these are the endpoints of this line segment. This is the line segment and this is the right bisector. As O lies on this right bisector, therefore it will be equidistant from both the endpoints. So now we know that O is on the right bisector of AB. Okay, this is what we did in construction. We made the right bisector of AB in the construction. Draw the right bisector of the side AB. Okay, as this is the right bisector of AB and O is a point on this right bisector, therefore OA will be equal to OB. Therefore OA will be congruent to OB because of theorem 12.1.1. Any point on the right bisector of a line is always equidistant from its endpoints. Okay, what did we learn in theorem 12.1.1? Any point on the right bisector, if O is a point on the right bisector, which already we know from here, O is on the right bisector of AB, so it will be equidistant from the endpoints. What are the endpoints of AB? This point A and B. So O will be equidistant, means distance from O, distance of O from A, okay, OA, and distance of O from B, OB. They are going to be equal because O lies on the right bisector of AB. Similarly, look at BC. Okay, this was the right bisector making an angle 90 with BC. We also drew the right bisector of BC in the construction. Okay, so it means O lies on the right bisector of BC. So O will be equidistant from the endpoints of BC, that is OB will be equal to OC. Okay, because this is the right bisector, this is the line segment, and we did in theorem 12.1.1 that the point on the right bisector is always equidistant from its endpoint. The endpoints are B and C. So we can write that OC is congruent to OB. Similarly means according to the same reasons, so you don't have to write all these reasons again. Okay, similarly means same as above. The reasons are the same as above, so it will be enough to write this. Now if you look at these two carefully, OA is congruent to OB and OC is congruent to OB. As they are congruent to the same segments, so OA and OC must be congruent to one another. Okay, from these two equations we can deduce that OA is congruent to OC from equation 1 and 2. Okay, so OA is congruent to OB because O was on the right bisector of AB. Similarly, OB was congruent to OC because O was on the right bisector of BC. From these two equations, if you observe them carefully, OA is also congruent to OB and OC is also congruent to OB. For example, if OB is 5 cm, OA is equal to 5 cm and OC will also be. It means O and OC are definitely going to be equal to one another. Therefore, we can say that OA is congruent to OC from these two equations. Okay, let me erase this and then we will discuss the last point. Just remember this, that we have proved that OA is congruent to OC. Let me name this equation as 3. I will write it again, this equation 3 again. because we are going to use it in the next step of this proof. And do write the headings here, okay? Reasons and statements. Okay. Now we know that OA is congruent to OC. This we proved in the previous equation, equation 3. Now according to theorem 12.1.2 that I discussed in the start of this lecture, from there what we did was, if there is a line, if there is a point, okay, which is equidistant from the end points of a line, then that point always lies on the right bisector. Okay, so from here we can see that the distance of O from A and C is the same. Let me draw a line which passes through O. Okay, let this be any line passing through O. Now as OA is congruent to OC, it means the distance of O from A and C is the same. Then O must be on the right bisector. O is right bisector of AC. This is because of theorem 12.1.2. It states that if a point, or let me state it easily, any point equidistant from the end points lies on the endpoints of a line lies on the right bisector of that line. Okay, so if you have a point which is equidistant from the end point, then that point must lie on the right bisector. According to this theorem, any point equidistant from the end points of a line lies on the right bisector of that line. So here, from here what we see that O is equidistant from A and C, because OA is congruent to AC. It means the distance of O from A and C are same. It means that the line which passes through O must be the right bisector of this AC. Okay, because from theorem 12.1.2 states that if you have a point which is equidistant from the end points, so here O is a point which is equidistant from these 2 points. So any point where this point is O, okay, equidistance from the endpoints are A and C, okay, lies on the right bisector. So as O is equidistant from the endpoint, it means that it must lie on the right bisector. What does it shows? That it shows that the right bisector will also pass through this point O. Now point O was the point of intersection of the first 2 right bisector. Also we have proved that the third right bisector also passes through O. It means that all these right bisectors are going to be concurrent. That is, they are going to intersect each other at the point, because we have proved that this point O also lies on the right bisector. According to this statement, this O must be on the right bisector. If it is on the right bisector, it means having O on the right bisector, or that statement the same as saying that the line the right bisector will pass through O. So as these 2 right bisectors were already intersecting each other at O, we have also proved that the third right bisector, the bisector of AC, it also passes through O. It means that all these 3 lines cross each other at the same. We had 2 right bisector, they were crossing each other at at O, and now we have proved that O also lies on the third bisector. Okay, it means if it lies on the third bisector, that is the same as saying that this third bisector will pass through the point O. So it shows that all the 3 right bisectors will be concurrent, and that is what we needed to prove. Okay, that the right bisector of the side AB, BC and AC are concurrent. Okay, this is the third bisector of AC. The third bisector is the bisector of AC. So it means that the 3 bisectors are concurrent. Concurrent. Okay, so this is what we needed to prove. Okay, proved. Not like this. Now it's proved. Okay, so that's all for today. We have done theorem 12.1.3.